Rise and shine. Pour yourself a cup of coffee and tune in to Good Morning Aurora. News, weather, and really cool interviews. Monday through Friday from 8 to 9 a.m.
Good morning, Aurora. Good morning, Aurora. Good morning, Aurora. The time is now 6:50 a.m. and you are listening to Good Morning Aurora, the second largest city's first daily news podcast. It's Tuesday, the 15th of June, 2021, y'all. We're going live at 8 a.m. Get ready. Thanks for tuning in yesterday. Today is another great day of news, weather, and all the cool stuff that you need to know about. This week began the MCIP Hiring Fast Track Training Program. MCIP stands for the Manufacturing Careers Internship Program. It's specifically designed for young people who may have traditional barriers to employment. If you or someone you know is 18 to 24 years old and not in school, this is a helpful program. Low income, criminal backgrounds, or disabilities are all qualifiers to receive certification. The pay is $13 and boots, a cell phone for up to 3 months if needed, and uniforms are provided. There are additional services for education and training once the 8 weeks are finished, and a career advisor will stay on top of the individuals and work with them for up to a year, providing services and support. Feel free to share the information. We've posted this on our Facebook and Instagram with anyone you know needing job assistance. Our friends of the Fox Valley United Way, they're having their very first Halloween Hustle 5K and 1 mile fun walk. Now, I know it's early, but I'm doing this to get you guys ready. It'll be October before you know it. Watch. This is a great fundraising event, the proceeds of which will ensure financial support for our children. The date will take place on the 17th at 9 a.m. at Phillips Park. Sponsorships are available and registration is required. There is a registration link which we have put into our chat. We will put as well, and it's been posted to our Facebook. Shout out to our friends of the Fox Valley United Way. Also, lastly, do not forget, our friends of Harry B's Dog Parlor, they're having an awesome party on July 25th, which is a Sunday. Food, cars, and really cool people. It'll be a great gathering from noon to 5 p.m. Swing by 215 West Galena Boulevard and help celebrate the 3-year anniversary of our friends and their great, cool business. We've posted the event for this flyer on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Are you friends with us on Twitter yet? If not, follow us on Twitter. We like to promote the news on there. It's really cool. Twitter's kind of difficult for a brother. You know, you only get like 240 characters. Sometimes you got a lot to say, but it's a challenge to get it into that many characters. So, you know, it's fun. Help us make it more fun by checking us out on Twitter. Also, subscribe to the show on YouTube. Go to the YouTube page, hit the subscribe button. Every subscription helps us to grow, and also you can see the full breadth of everybody that we've been interviewing, all the work we've done so far. All right. And that is the news. Good morning to you.
Good morning.
How's things?
Great.
All right. You're looking good. You're looking good. You know what I'm saying? For our listeners and our viewers,
right,
let us know who you are and where you're from.
My name is Quint Thompson, for those who don't know. Live in Aurora by way of Kentucky, actually. Came when I was younger. My mother migrated here from the South, so I've been here since I was like 6 years old, so I guess you could somewhat call this home, but I'm back and forth all the time, so still keep those roots growing.
What part of Kentucky?
Louisville.
Louisville.
Yeah, Louisville.
I've never been to Kentucky.
Wow.
I've heard good things though. I've heard good stuff about Kentucky.
Absolutely. Muhammad Ali. I mean,
that's where he's from. Yeah.
He's from right down the street from where.
That's right. Man, and they did, when he passed, they did a procession through Kentucky. Absolutely. Or through Louisville, right?
Yeah.
Are there any similarities in the Kentucky story, in the Louisville story, and Aurora?
I mean, I think pretty much all stories are similar in the sense, you know, where you are, obviously, the cultures are a little bit different. But I think the stories somewhat still remain the same across the globe.
Now, you still go back and forth to Kentucky? You still got family there?
Lots of family there. Yeah.
Okay. If a person goes to Kentucky, what do they need to check out? What they need to do?
Derby, first of all. If you haven't ever been to Kentucky Derby, definitely check out Derby the first week in May, I believe it is. First week of May. Definitely got to check that out. There's a lot of Muhammad Ali museums down there too,
Okay.
so you can check that out. I mean, and then the culture is a lot different too. So a lot of different eateries. If you're into that, everybody's into eating, right?
Right.
Which keeps me in business, by the way. But yeah, you should definitely check out Jet and just check the tourist sites. Whatever you're into, you can find out there. It's a little bit different, but I think you would get a good. It's a great place to visit. Unfortunately, I don't live there anymore, but still
Right.
home.
So I didn't think that we'd be here. I didn't think I'd hear the name Kentucky today. So I got a friend who a few years back told me, he's like, "Yo, Kurt, man, you got to come to the Kentucky Derby with me and everything." He always told me to check out Kentucky Derby, and I was like, "Okay, where?" And he was like, "Look, I know what you're thinking. It's not just horses. No, you're just watching. Like apparently,
Right.
like it's it's fresh, right?
Yeah,
You can.
It's fresh. Like, you definitely got to bring your A game to Kentucky Derby.
That's what he told me, yeah.
You got your dressing. You're going to definitely dress up. The parties are amazing. All the celebrities actually go. So
Right.
if you're into that, they're always hanging out. You just enjoying. The weather's nice. The bedding on the track. Actually, I do nothing about. The funny thing about that is, as long as I lived in Kentucky and had been going, I never went to Derby.
Really?
Really. Like, the moment I got away from Kentucky, and heard about, I knew about Derby, but then it was like, wow, you see it and people talk about it all the time. I'm like, I lived there, I was there every year, but I never went. So it wasn't until I left Kentucky that I actually started attending Derby.
Okay.
And kind of enjoying what that has to offer me.
Okay, fair enough. I'll put that on my bucket list
Yeah,
still.
definitely check Derby out.
All right. So, from Kentucky, came here when you were 6.
Yeah.
Okay. Where'd you go to high school?
West Aurora.
West Aurora High School. All right. So, it's interesting. This is an important part of the show because this show has, I didn't mean for it to happen like this. This show this show has been stocked with Tomcats. We've had very few Blackhawks on this show. It just happened like that.
That's unfortunate, man. So we're gonna make sure we
Yeah, we got to even it out. And again, I didn't mean for it to happen like that. It's just for some reason there's a lot of Tomcats that come on this show. Interesting.
I guess that's your alma mater. I see the EA on your shirt. Is that you?
Actually, I'm an AmeriCorps member, so they just gave me the shirt. Yeah, for volunteering.
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay, got it.
Yep.
Nice.
All right. So graduated from West Aurora.
Absolutely not.
Okay.
I left West Aurora probably my sophomore year.
Why is that?
Moved to New York.
Okay.
Stayed out there with family. I went to school out there. Warren Western Reserves. It's pretty cool, man. It was. I love the East Coast. If I had my way, I would live on the East Coast. But I'm not trading Chicago for New York, only because of the weather.
Right.
But like, if I had my choice, I would definitely like to be on the East Coast. But I don't want cold weather anymore. So this has pretty much been like.
Yeah, I lived on the West Coast where it's hot all the time. I like my 4 seasons. You know what I mean? Yeah. I don't mind the snow. I like the change up. I do.
Yeah, I'm tired of the change up.
I
wish we could keep it like warm. I'm a summer. We tropical people, so.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I like to keep it somewhat warm, a little bit hotter than warm, if you will. But
right.
I like the warm weather.
My ideal is between 75 and 80. That's about it.
We can work with that.
Right.
We can work with that.
So you moved to New York.
Yeah.
What took you to New York?
Family, 1. 2, I was just tired of being here, and my mom was like, you want to go? We're going to send you. So it was pretty much my call. So I went there, and went to school there, high school there, and came back. My mother got sick.
Okay.
So then I came back, and from that point, I kind of just been here ever since.
Okay.
Yeah.
No regrets about leaving New York?
Regrets. That's a good question.
What'd you like about it when you were there?
I like the crowd. I like the busyness of it. I like the culture of it.
Okay.
The fast pace of it. It just was my speed. I like the whole melting pot of
the hustle, bustle, all that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I understand that because when I was young, right, I was I used to take the train. I grew up in Harvey. I used to take the train in and out the city, and I liked it.
Absolutely.
I liked the whole, you know, the moving around and everything. And I guess it's a sign of the times. But I told myself when I was young, I was like, man, I want a job where I can be one of those guys on the train reading my paper with the coffee, boom, 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 hustling, you know, with the tie on and everything. I'm like, these people look important, you know, because I'm going back to, you know, not much or nothing like that. So it just looked like, wow, that's the way to be. So I do understand the, I guess, the allure of the hustle and bustle.
Yeah, absolutely.
So you find yourself back here in Aurora now, coming out of New York.
Yeah.
What's life like for Quint at this time? What year is this?
When I graduated 89, 90.
Okay.
So, say 93, 94.
Okay.
Somewhere around in there. You know, at that point, it was just like working. And I had jobs, great jobs.
Mm-hmm.
But, you know, you could be in a situation and be in a great situation, but still not be fulfilled in what it is you're doing. Like, I made great money. Not a problem with, you know, taking care of business, if you will, as far as that goes. But it was just something still missing, you know, something still not fulfilled. And you know, a lot of us sometimes say, you know, we all have something we want to do in life.
Right.
You know, we all have that thing, whatever that thing is. And unfortunately, many of us don't take advantage of that situation. You know, whether it be, you know, the comfort of knowing I have a job and I have a check, and some people, you know, may have a family and have that consistency of knowing you have to take care of that responsibility and not ever take that leap. You know, you never take that leap. But for me, I will say, without going too far into depth, you know, sometimes you take a chance because you have to, and sometimes you take a chance because you want to. You know, for me, I had to. It was either now or never. And you know, it's funny because I never had fear of taking that leap.
Right.
I think because that void in me always felt like I wanted to do something different. I wanted to do something else, something more meaningful to me, that I wanted to be fulfilled in saying, okay, I did this, I helped people, I did so X, Y, and Z. And so that's what I did, yeah.
So at this time, you're working before the leap, right?
Exactly.
So what were you doing when you decided to make that leap? What was your job?
I was working in a warehouse. Making like $24 an hour.
What warehouse? Where was it at?
Aldi warehouse.
Okay.
And it was just like something more in life. Like even in being in this place, it's space and time, I still feel like there's something else.
I understand.
Yeah, I still feel like there's more to do.
I knew when I was working in warehouses and pallet jack and all this, and you know, we clocking in and we eating outside the roach coach with the cart and the hot pockets and all that. I knew that, you know,
something else, something missing.
You know, couldn't figure out what it was, right? Yeah. What is it? You know, it's a question mark that doesn't really have an explanation to it.
Absolutely.
But yeah, so I understand that. That's why I asked too, because I have come to realize that a lot of times, which I want your opinion on this. This is actually a question.
Right.
When you take that leap, or when you feel like you want to take that leap, is it true that you may not always be ready?
Absolutely. I don't think I was ready when I took it.
Okay.
I absolutely don't think I was ready. Even to this day, I've been in my business, 9 years, 2 West Downer.
Okay.
I started my fitness center there, and I wasn't ready 5 years down the line.
Okay.
I wasn't ready. You just keep going until you figure it out. And giving up is not an option at that point. I don't feel like, I think the mistakes I made needed to be made in order for me. They say fail quickly. In order to be successful, you need to fail quickly. So you can recover quickly from your mistakes and keep moving forward.
Right.
So I did that. I failed several times to the point I almost shut down. You know, you go to work every day, and every day I went in my business, and it was a new kind of energy. But at least 5 times a day I wanted to quit, but I can't fire myself. Like, I'd invested, like, so we have to keep going.
Right.
But when you believe in something enough, when you have, and I always say 2 things: find passion for what it is you do, whatever you're passionate about, do your homework, prepare, and then execute. And many of us maybe do one or two of those things, but we never really fully execute. And so we never really get ahead of that game. It's not like, and we can't measure our success compared to other people's success.
That's a mistake that many people consistently make.
It is.
I think, and I didn't mean to cut you off, excuse me. I think that's the number one mistake people think. People, and I think, like, they want to do a little, they want to open a little gym. So they see what, person A's gym is looking like. So they thinking that that's the model I need to be in. And if I'm not doing what person A is doing, then I
fail.
Right, exactly.
And you're going to fail every time because that wasn't your idea, that wasn't your dream, and that wasn't your passion. Like, you could take me out of my situation and put, let's just say you in it, for instance, right? It's not going to work.
Right.
I could give you all the tools, all the necessary, I could give you everything but your desire to do that is not going to have the longevity to keep you consistently fighting for that.
There's a guy that I know. I think that he doesn't want to be my friend anymore because I gave him an answer I didn't think he wanted, but he asked me. I know what his passion is, right?
Yeah.
He's a mechanic.
Right.
He is a mechanic. If you give, he could, no matter how long that car been dead, he can get that bad boy back to life. And he was hitting me up. He was like, "Yo, man, man, I wanna do a little show. I wanna do a little boom." I'm like, "Okay, that's where he was like, yo, man," and he showed me these cameras, and they all super expensive and everything. This, that. I'm like, that's cool, right? But I don't know if you're gonna be successful with it. You know what I'm saying? I was like, it seems like your passion is auto maintenance and things like that. He's doing things in his garage.
Yeah.
People paying him,
Right.
making money. His goal is to get a brick and mortar
Mechanic shop.
a mechanic shop.
Yeah.
So he's worked for other mechanics, try to build his thing. But now he asking me about this kind of, and I'm like, no, keep playing basketball in your lane.
Exactly.
And I don't think he wanted to hear that.
No, he didn't. He didn't. But and another mistake that we make a lot of times is what are our characteristics? Like there's lanes, and in each column you will have your character. Either you're a people person, you're analytical, your business, whatever that lane is.
Right.
We need to stay in that lane. And not to say that we can't do other things in life.
Sure.
Right? Not to say we can't do other things in life, but think about this for a minute. You could be good at everything and great at nothing. You could do 5 different things, but you'll never be great at all of them, right? Because we don't have time to read, we don't have time to study, we don't have time to do research, we don't have time to case study and figure out exactly what it is about us and our characteristics that make us successful. Because we got too many irons in the fire.
That's a good
right?
point.
We got too many irons, but if you start pulling those irons out and find that one lane that you're good at, stick to it.
It's like Jordan when he went to go play for the White Sox, right? Like,
His lane.
the only reason why I rock the jersey is because he's my man.
Absolutely.
But he was the worst baseball player that ever lived.
Yeah. And
Why?
when he got back to his lane.
Exactly. That's a good example. Showing my age, at least, on this.
I don't know what that age is. I'm going to get 26, man. 26 today.
Oh, man.
26 on his birthday. There it is.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. All right. So before I get to this next question, what did you want to be? Did you always want to be an instructor or a fitness coach?
Absolutely not.
What did you want to be?
A journalist. I wanted to be in journalism. I wanted to be, even when I was younger, I used to watch, the news. Your mom, I'm sure, watched the news, Channel 7 News, ABC,
That's how our households are. Yes,
yeah.
yes.
And so I used to be like, that guy right there, like, I want to do that. I want to do that. And I watch every night intently, just watch. And I wanted to go out, get the story, come back, write the story, and report it on the evening news. I wanted to be that anchor. That's what I wanted to do.
You know who Herb Kent is?
Yes.
Herb Kent was who I wanted to be when I was a kid. A lot of people don't, my brother right here, so you know who Herb Kent. I say who Herb Kent is to other people. Who was your inspiration, Kurt? Herb Kent. Who was that? Herb Kent was what I thought it
Life.
was.
That's
that
life
was
right there.
right. I mean, because you know what I'm saying? Cool jet, that's what I wanted to be. And to your point earlier that you were making, you know, you get stuck in a job. It's paying the bills and all that.
Yeah.
Call center and all this kind of stuff, and you're sitting there for a long time. But what is it going to be that makes you either want to try it or start doing the thing that you're thinking about all day? That's why I brought that question up.
Yeah, I think you know, there was nothing that, in my opinion, and I still would love to do that. That desire in me
Sure,
has
yeah.
never diminished. I still love to read, which is kind of a lost art. I still love to write, which is a forgotten art.
Forgotten.
Yeah.
Yeah. If it's not, brother, if it's not 26 characters.
Yeah, we're done. That 26 frame. But I still love to do it, and I still do it. And I think for me, circumstances. You know, we say, why didn't we do this or why didn't we do that? But sometimes our victimized ability of being the circumstances of what life has brought you changes the direction of the course of direction in life. And that's what sort of happened to me, and I didn't ever get the opportunity to fulfill that. And in doing that, you know, came a lot of bad choices in life because of those circumstances. And you ask why, and hence I go back when I said some people take a chance because they want to, and some people take a chance because they have to.
Right.
I had to. There was no other question about it. It was either that or go, you know, work again someplace where I wasn't happy and be unfulfilled again, and I didn't want that. I didn't want that when I had an opportunity to do something different. And so I did, man, and I'm glad I did it. It's been rough. I tell you, like, this journey has been crazy, but I am blessed, and I'm humble by all measures because of the path that led me here. That could be another story some other time, but...
Well, no, bro. We got time. So let's...
Yeah.
All right. So is this where you were... Is this the moment that you were working at the warehouse and then you took that leap? Or what was... Take me to the day before the leap. Take me to the morning of the leap.
The morning of the leap, I was released from my DOC.
Okay.
So that was the morning of relief.
That's it.
And that wasn't even the moment. The moment came way before that.
Right.
You know, you prepare yourself for what's next. You know the progression
Sure.
that you have to take. For me, so I was like, okay, nothing in life is ever going to be the same again. From this point, nothing in life of what I used to know before this is ever going to be the same moving forward.
Sure.
So how do we change that? Like, how do we correct that narrative of being in that circumstance and still allow it to control you?
Sure.
Because not a lot of people make it out of that situation.
No, they don't.
I call it the 1%.
Or either physically or mentally.
Exactly. Sometimes both.
Right.
And you know, I said I want to defy those odds. How do I change this narrative? How do I defy the laws of gravity and start to rebuild that character, and be a model citizen again? Like, how do we change that?
Right.
And I would just say real quick, like, you know, I told myself I want to retire at 50, starting from ground zero. How do you do that? And
Coming out of DLC is ground zero.
Ground zero.
Right.
And my only objective was how do I cut time in half? How do I do in 10 years what people don't even do in 20? How do I do that? And it was just a grind. Every day for 7, 8 years I worked like 16, 17 hours every day. Monday through Monday. No days off. And this is how serious, you know, when you set your mind to do something, ain't nothing gonna stop you.
Right.
Nothing can stop you but you. You know, we make excuses for everything. Like, even working out, people have excuses, and I tell you why.
I'm sure.
Absolutely.
I'm so sure. I'm glad you touched on this. I didn't mean to cut you off. Excuse me.
And I had this client one time, and this is how I understand that this is more or less about your will than anything physical in your body. I had this client, and she had cancer, and she knew she had cancer. A real great friend of mine. And so she would call me and say, I want to, you know, so I would have her come in. And it was touching for me because my mother died of breast cancer. And so when this friend of mine had developed that situation, I was like, I'm gonna do anything in my power, like anything that I can do to help you, I'm gonna do it. Without a hesitation, without a thought. And so this person would come to my gym every day, and I would work her out every day. Every day. After chemo, radiation, she would get up, she would still come to my gym, and she would still work out. One day she was on the elliptical, she was, doing her thing, and it was hot. And so she went and like to wipe her head, the sweat, and her hair came out. And I think that startled her. Not that she didn't realize what was going on, but when the reality hits you that I'm gonna eventually lose my hair and these things, she stopped, and then she just kept pulling, and she got off, walked out, went in my office. She didn't leave. She went in my office and closed the door, and I just gave her moment. And then I went and checked on her, and she was just kind of sitting there, and then me and her had a conversation. And at that point, she got up, and I said, listen, it's only hair. Like, we got a bigger battle than this ahead of us. We fighting. And she was like, but my hair. So I got on the phone, I called my barber, I said, hey, I need you to do me a favor. Come down, I need you to do something.
Right.
He rushed down, came down, he cut her up, cut her bald, and I had to remind her, like, you're still beautiful. Like, it's just hair. You're still alive.
Right.
And long story short, at that point I realized people can make excuses all day for everything. But if this person in this state can come in here and do what she did and consistently do it through all the pain of chemo, radiation, tired, she wanted to fight. She wanted to live. And so she did. And she's still healthy as a bull today. And then that's why I say you backtrack that to people, they make excuses for everything.
Right.
Execute, follow through.
Right.
And that is why I say, you just have to be willing, man, to do whatever it takes. And that's what I did coming home from that situation. I knew I was going to have to do whatever it took. And it wasn't always pretty. And it's still, rough to this day. But I'm thankful. I'm grateful. I'm in a good position. I'm happy. I still have my business.
Right.
Life is good. I have no regrets, man, of any of that.
You mentioned people working it.
Mm-hmm.
And I live by that too. I tell people that I'm a Navy veteran. I've always been a fast dude, running and everything. Like, I was going to go run. I was such a good, strong runner that like people who couldn't run or couldn't keep up, our commanders used to tell them, like, if you just keep up with Curtis, because even at my slowest, we still gonna pass.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Even, if you can just keep up with me, we still will pass with mad minutes to spare. And I will never forget this young lady by the name of Tally, or her last name was Tally. She was from Alabama.
Okay.
Short sister. She was like 5'1". Her body type was what would be considered obese.
Okay.
And she had a hard time running. And there was, and she would run and she just couldn't make it.
Wow. Yeah.
And amongst other things, if you can't pass the run, you will not graduate. And, every day me and another brother, we would just wake up and run it out at our slowest so she could keep up.
Yeah.
Still had a hard time, yo. And I will never forget, until if I live to be 100 years old, I will never forget. There was other guys who was slim, fit, they tall, right, pretty. They passing out. They can't run.
Absolutely.
And a memory that I will take to my grave is Tally running with us, crying as she ran and tried to keep up with our slowest. She made it. She had more guts than people who had the correct body type and physique to pass.
Yeah.
You're right. If you want it hard enough, you can.
Anything.
You will. Anything. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It's people's minds and perception that keep them, I think, from achieving or succeeding or taking that leap that we're talking about.
Absolutely, absolutely. And even in training, I always thought I was good at training. Like, why do people come to my gym, and why do people train with me? I thought because I could put together a series of workouts and tell people, because that's why I loved it. I loved to work out, and so I felt like if I could just get people to want to work out, like I could be good at what I do, and eventually be great at what I do.
Sure.
It wasn't until I realized, what my true potential was. It wasn't the working out. Like anybody who took a course in, physical education could put together a series of exercise and do the same thing. But what is that thing? What is that one thing that separated you, right?
Right.
And it wasn't until I realized my ability to draw people in. It was the attention to detail. So I real quick, I went to this seminar way back when I was younger, like maybe 25, whatever. And I always was curious, like how people made money, like how did they get rich?
Right.
So this guy, I don't recall his name. It was so long ago. He had a seminar in Chicago. So we had this stage, and all these people came to see him. And I sat there, and mind you, I saved my money, to go buy these tickets to this show, to this event, and hear this man. I'm thinking he gonna give me a blueprint of, how to get this money, how to get this. And
pop it in the microwave. It's ready to go. Boom. Yeah, that's it.
I sat through it all. Nothing. After the show, he was up signing autographs. Shaking people's hands.
Right.
So I'm waiting. I said, okay. So I might get my chance. I go up. I speak to him. Hey, how you doing? My name is Quint. Yada. He was like, hi, how are you? I'm like, man, listen. I sat through your show. I saved my money to come see you. I didn't really get anything out of it. He was like, really? I'm like, yeah. He was like, well, what didn't you get? I'm like, I didn't hear how to get rich. He was like, let me give you something. He's like, and this is what he told me. He was like, listen, in order to be successful, you need two things: passion and charisma. And at that time, I'm young. My mentality is still in the streets, kind of. I'm
right.
I'm like, I ain't what? Like, I paid all this money for you to tell me to. And what is charisma, by the way? At the time, I'm like, what do you mean by that? He was like,
sound like a bottle of water. What is charisma?
He's like, you'll get it. And he walked away. And now in my mind, I'm standing here like, this dude just got me, right?
Yeah.
I went back to his show years later. I saw him again. He came across. The dude came back. I'm like, okay, maybe I missed something. My mentality is a little bit different now. I'm going to go back, and I know I'm going to get it. I go back. He gives the same spiel. Verbatim. His show never changes.
Right.
And he was like, listen to me. After the show, same thing. I went up to him, and I'm like, hey, my name. He's like, I remember you.
Right.
I was like, yeah. I was like, listen, I don't know. I'm like, you got a heck of a gimmick going on here. I was like, I don't know how you tricked all these people to come here and listen to you. I'm like, but I want to do what you do. He was like, you don't want to do what I do. He's like, I could give you the stage and you could never do what I do.
Right.
He's like, my system never changes. People's habits change.
Right.
I'm going to tell you the same thing I told you before. Two things in life you need: passionate about what you do and have charisma. And then he said, I'm going to break it down a little further for you. You need passion because passion is what's going to keep you going. You're passionate about something, so you're going to fight for it. Charisma, just smile.
Right.
Just smile. People are drawn to it.
Right.
You don't have to sell anything. It's going to sell itself.
We know that from the streets.
He walked away.
Yeah.
To this day, still didn't know what he meant to maybe like, in this time, let's just say 24 hours ago. That's how relevant what he said still remains, a reality today. And that's when I realized it wasn't necessarily me and my ability to like tell people how to do exercises. It was my ability to draw people into what I had to say to them, and my ability to execute when I said it.
Right.
And so what trainers, quote unquote, to will people. Will them to do something that they don't want to do.
Here's the thing. I am on the outside looking in when it comes to the physical fitness business and being an instructor and everything like that. But I
Yeah.
already got. If you attended 8th grade gym class,
Right.
you can put together a regimen of working out. My 7-year-old can do
Absolutely.
that.
Absolutely.
People making themselves work. That's the trick. That's the not a trick. You understand what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
That's what it is. And I feel on the outside looking in again, successful trainers are motivating people.
That's it.
That's it.
You're motivated.
Right.
And how
No small task, no small easy task, of course.
No,
Yeah.
By far.
No, I get it, man, and I appreciate that because I'm the type of dude that I saw something the other day. It said, if you gotta tell them to carry the bricks, they're not the people to build with. I feel that that's somewhat applicable. Is that a fair statement?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, because if it wasn't a true statement, people would do this on their own.
Right. Exactly. And we'll get to, but I'm sure you see many people drop out.
Yeah, this is
Quit or not come back kind of thing.
Yeah. Here's the thing, though. What's amazing is, I think the programs that we do, how we run it, and the things that we offer, it's less than likely that they're going to go anywhere else and get it.
Right.
Because if you go to Planet, and you think about all the fitness, facilities and what they offer you, unless you like Lifetime, one of those major entities, corporations, most of them are pretty much the same, and they have the same setup too. You pay a membership,
Right.
you go in, you do whatever you know how to do, and you leave. Unless you have the luxury of paying for someone to give you something. Other than that,
right.
Then you're kind of like in this melting pot with everybody else. You just do what you can do and you leave.
That's it.
And you never fully develop yourself or reach any kind of goals or results in that. Most of the time.
Right.
Some people have the ability to do that within themselves. But the majority of people, they need just that. They need that motivation and that push and that will. And even in trainers, you have to find that camaraderie between you and that other person. You and I might not click.
Right.
The trainer next door, you might be more inclined to like his style or her style. So that relationship piece of it has to fit as well.
You're right. A lot of people have asked me like, "Yo, man, why don't you get an assistant?" Something like, this has been a one-man show the whole rip. Yeah.
Yeah.
Why? Because it's strangely enough, this has only had to rock with your boy. It's only had one requirement: be here at 7:30. It's amazing how many people have not, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I've rotated humans.
Absolutely.
It only has one requirement.
Yeah.
Because we're going live at 8 no matter what.
No matter what.
So to help, yeah, brother, need help. Be here at 7:30. Not 7:45.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not 8:03.
Yeah. The shows must go on. The show's gonna go.
And to your point, man, it's like even if you had a more expensive camera, you know what I'm saying? It's like the basic building block starts at 7:30. So, that hump, whether mentally or physically, if you can't overcome that, we will never, one cannot motivate themselves to do more.
Absolutely.
All right. So, how did QT3 Systems start?
I understood I had to do something with my life, and I had several options in the fire, burning. And I thought at the time, I'm going to just throw all of this stuff up in the air,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm going to do my best to mature it all at once. And I was never gravitating to something that I honestly wanted to do. And I just kept trying to do it all. And so my mentor, he told me one day, he was like, listen, you got a lot of stuff going on. He was like, and I know you're anxious and ready to, get back out there and be great and make a difference. He's like, but you're good at a lot of stuff and again, but you're great at nothing.
Right.
You need to pick something and pour all your energy into it and watch how it manifests in your life. You need to find that one thing.
Right.
And so I'm looking at all these irons in the fire, like, okay, which one do I pull out and which one? And honestly, I never pulled any of them out. I just let it come to me, because honestly, at the time, I didn't know what that thing was, what it was. And
what year are we talking? Excuse me, I didn't mean to.
2013.
Okay.
And I just let it come to me. But I feel like whatever that one thing would have been, it would have been the same result. Because ultimately, either of those things was still not the thing.
But you were okay with them. They were all something that
I felt in my heart.
Okay.
Like I thought I knew what
Sure.
that thing was. But even in the training wasn't even it. I didn't find out until after I got in the training what that thing was, what that purpose was. The purpose wasn't training. The purpose was speaking. The purpose was, okay, I have an ability, I have a gift, and we all have a gift within us. It's just, we just never get to it. We never take time to nurture it. We never take time to figure out what that gift is. So we just continue to go through life, going to work, getting that check, being unfulfilled, living life, taking care of families, paying bills, getting up, doing it all over again. And so had I just not even picked training and had I picked frying chicken, I think eventually I still would have found what that ultimate purpose is. It wasn't cooking chicken. It wasn't being a trainer. Like, a trainer is just what I do. It never was who I am. Who I am is something completely different than what I do. I'm just a trainer. But a trainer isn't ultimately who I am. That was just a vehicle I felt for me to find out exactly who I was. And that's what happened and how I came about getting QT3 Systems started. And the name came, obviously, I'll break the QT3 Systems down for you. QT is just my initials, Quint Thompson. The 3, people ask what the 3 is. That like, you got, you the third, you got 3 brothers and sisters, you got your birthday, and 3 just happened to be my favorite number. 3 happens to be my birthday. 3, I have 2 more sisters, so it's 3 of us. Outside of my father, who's a whole different other story, but 3 ended up being a dimension. It's like you take life. So I took it and just made it a basic element to fitness. My just kind of concept of how to make it simplify it for people. And 3 is just dimension. If you can change your mind, 1, it always starts in your mind. You have to change something in your mind before you can ever change anything.
Facts.
So if you can change your
Facts.
mind, you can change the way you think. Change the way you think, you ultimately begin to change the way you feel. You change the way you feel, then here comes the fireworks. You begin to change how you look.
I've told people that, like, look, man.
Yeah.
This ain't air, this is clay, baby.
That's it.
This is clay. You can change your whole joint. You could change all this. Everything. You could break all this down and make something completely, it's all here.
So you change your mind, you change the way you think. Change the way you think, you change the way you feel. Change the way you feel, you ultimately begin to do exactly what you came to me for. Change the way you look. There's 3 dimensions. Simple. We simplify it. Everything is simplified. You start complicating it, people don't understand it. You start adding stuff in there and telling them count calories, people not going to count them. Like, let's keep a realistic attitude about what it is that we're doing in life. And that applies to anything, not just training. You can take that physics and apply it to any point in any dimension of your life, and you're going to get the same result.
I'm thinking about my own life. It's one of the pleasures of doing what I do. That's right. It is, man. It is. You, as I'm sure you can concur, it's been so many brothers, man, that I've met from once upon a time, wherever the case may be, and they just haven't grasped that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They haven't grasped that. And we look at them and we look at ourselves, and it's like, yo, like, sometimes we get sad for other people, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Like my brother, come on, man.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, you can make the 3-point shot with your eyes closed. I can't. Like,
Do something.
yeah. Why are you fighting pit bulls in the basement?
Yeah. That's not your calling.
It's not. It's not. It's not. And I think that for brothers, for us, that to me has been something that's been more disappointing than anything. I'm just going to use Mike Vick as an example here, you know.
Mm-hmm.
You get millions. $436 million just for a touchdown? Millions. And yet you're engaging in something that is tens of thousands at best. Whether you were put on earth to catch footballs or not, certainly it should be identifiable that hundreds of millions for catching footballs is ultimately better
It's not equivalent to
than
fighting
tens of
people.
thousands
But it goes
on a good day, you know.
It goes back to that saying, like you can take the man out the ghetto, but you can't take the ghetto out the man.
Sure.
It's a mentality, but you understand all of those kids, most of these kids that come and get into sports, like they came from nothing.
Right. That's true. Yes.
And the problem with that is that they don't have mentors and coaches to coach them up to deal with what's coming next. It's like you take me fresh out of that institution, or you take me straight out of the streets, and then you put me in a professional realm of sports and give me $10 million. What am I going to do with that $10 million? I have not the first clue, nor do I know how to conduct myself.
Of course.
In a setting with people who have that.
Right.
And so and again, when you left to deal with your own devices, you know nothing else.
Right.
I don't care how much money you got.
Right.
If you haven't been taught, then you're going to do what you know how to do.
And that wasn't to knock anybody who may make a mistake on like that.
Absolutely
Right.
not to knock anybody, but it's just a point to say, like, we need to be more disciplined and we need to be mentored and coached up
Right.
before we can elevate. Because if we just elevate without the coaching up, then we elevated with the same mindset, with the same mentality.
Right.
And that mentality don't carry over up here. You know, I always say you have a conversation with successful people, the conversation is different. You sit down with successful people, the conversation is different. We can't have this same conversation with people that are successful and think we're about to get something out of it.
Right.
You can't.
Right.
So sometimes when you act, can you grow too fast? You can absolutely grow too fast, and that's a prime example of that. I don't know what Mike Vick's situation was or what he was thinking, or was it his buddies that, you know, he wanted to do something for them? Who knows what that was?
Right.
The point of the matter is, you should have never had your hand in it.
Right. Right.
But, you know, who knows what that was? And we may never know, but, you know, he went, and just like me, or you, or anybody else, there's circumstance, there's consequences behind your actions.
Of course. Right.
And if you put yourself in them situations, you got to do the same thing. I don't care how much money you got. Take Martha Stewart, for example.
Great example. Yep.
Billionaire. She stuck her hand in that fire, and guess what she had to go do? She went to jail like the rest of them.
Right.
It doesn't matter. There's consequences behind your choices. And we have to be more mindful, and I always say critical thinking. And I'm not perfect by far. Listen, I still make mistakes.
Sure.
I still do things.
We all
I have
do.
to question
Of
myself,
course.
like, how did I find myself in this situation again?
Wake up the next morning like, come on, bruh.
Exactly. What were you thinking? You
Right.
know. And it's just life, man. You know, we live, we learn. We wake up every day. We hope to be better than we were the day before, and we keep moving.
So QT3 Systems starts in 2013.
Correct.
Right? Okay. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Going on strong, man. That's good. That's good. Like to see that. Like to see that. And have you always been located at where you're at now?
Yeah. Well, I had one other location before this. It was a small spot, man, and it wasn't even okay. I started that because I was into these products. I was.
This is gonna be good. First of all, where was the spot at?
Downer. It was still on Downer.
Okay.
Okay. I'm at the corner of Downer and Stope.
Right.
I was first at the corner of Downer and Benton.
Downer and Benton. Downer and Benton don't cross though.
Yeah, so you got, I'm sorry, yeah, Benton goes, no, what is that? What street is that?
Downer and Benton both go the same way.
What street is that cross street? So if you go from
River? Okay.
I was at the corner of River and Downer.
Okay, River and Downer. Okay.
And then I moved to Stope and Downer.
Okay, got
Same
it.
block. Yeah, same block.
All right. So not bad, not bad. The spot that you're at now, for those who are listening and watching, you are right across the street. You're right in that's a nice spot, Blues Alley kind of area. The parking garage right there, other side of Subway, kitty corner from the ice cream joint, Charlie's Creamery.
Yeah. Literally.
Okay, so good location to be at. How's business been?
Business has been, well, obviously the whole COVID situation was really tough, man. Like, I think that year I probably worked like 3 months out of the year. So it was tough. I honestly, by the grace of God, was able to sustain an opportunity to come back and still be productive in what I do. And, I've seen a lot of people, they make it from that.
Right.
Yeah, we struggle, and it's been a struggle coming back. But, my position has never been about money. Like, I never did anything that I've done over the years and based it off of finance. I did it because I love to do it. And obviously you have to make money in business.
Sure.
Don't misunderstand me on that. But there was something else. There was another purpose for me, and it was always to better people. And somehow I just believe like there's a universe and there's a God who will take care of you if you're taking care of others. And for me, that was my preference. I'm not saying any to do with anybody else and their choices of whatever that is, but for me, my sustainability, I believe, is in my higher power, and not necessarily the dollar.
Right.
But because somehow the money was somehow made, like somehow the lights were always on, somehow the rent got paid, somehow the insurance was there, somehow we were still able to buy equipment, somehow, even though it was tough times, we still somehow managed to make it through until we find a little bit of pocket in time to breathe for a second and catch our breath. Because trust me, that's pretty much all it is when you a small business owner by yourself, you're trying to figure this out. Downtown in Aurora, it's tough.
That's one of the questions I actually have for you. How's it been dealing with the city and community and everything like that from a business owner's perspective?
Let me pause on that question for a second, right? Because the city, I'll keep this 100. Man. I'm always upfront with myself and what's going on in the situation, and and I can speak for myself and for just other people that I had conversations with. They weren't too supportive of us. Like, they weren't too supportive of the small entities downtown. All the funding and the grants and et cetera, those were for more or less corporate. And when they say small businesses, they're not talking about small businesses like us. They're talking about small businesses with, 500 employees and, those type of things is where all the money went initially.
Right.
Like those guys. And I don't feel like the city took the initiative to check on us per se. And I always say, which was a mistake, because even though they didn't consider us being quote unquote a backbone of this city because we don't have the necessary resources or the right tax brackets to be considered something that holds this city up. But mind you, we are essentially everything that holds this city up. We are the downtown of this city. We are the people who wake up every day and spend every dime we got, every ounce of energy we have and resources to do something that we dreamed of. And whether it's big enough for corporate, or whether it's big enough for the mayor, or whether it's big enough for Congress or whoever, the government, it might not be big enough for them. But for us who wake up every day and dedicate ourselves and pour everything and every resource we have into a dream. This is our dream. So you telling me that ain't big enough for people to pay attention to? Unfortunately, it's not. Because it's based on money. The premise of how much are they worth? And so because that worth isn't equivalent to what they consider worthy, then we took a hit. And a lot of us didn't make it out of that hit.
A lot of the business that you're talking about, they're not figured in the overall plan.
Absolutely.
When certain committees are making plans
Yeah.
and goals.
Yeah.
For employees?
No.
Nah, bro.
Nah. They got bigger things to worry about. But they didn't take into consideration us, because this city is built on us.
Right.
Like you take this, if you took every business out of this downtown, what would this city be?
Nothing.
A ghost town.
Right.
It would be nothing.
Right.
Right? But they walk past, they don't. And I'm not saying like maybe other people had different experiences, but just for myself personally, I'm going to speak for myself, and then just a few other people that I had conversations with, still in the same boat, still trying to figure it out, still trying to recover.
I understand. I've had that conversation specifically about business with a lot of people.
Yeah.
So yeah, I do understand the feeling that you mean.
Yeah.
So what's coming up next with QT3?
So, coming out of the COVID situation, we're back open and we're running. We're opening a juice bar.
Okay. Next door.
Literally next door to Jack and Jill, to my gym.
Okay. Yeah.
Jack and Jill. So that is coming this summer.
Okay.
This summer or this fall.
Shouts out.
And so what we're doing, man, this is great, man. We're having, and we do a lot of, with my gym, detoxes and cleanses, and I've been fortunate enough to be able to assist a lot of people in helping themselves become more healthier. So these products that we create is not something that we're just creating on the fly. We've been doing them for the last 4 or 5 years.
Okay.
But now we have the opportunity to not only just, make them out of our kitchen, but to also carry it over into a storefront, which is called Catherine's Place, 61 South Stope.
Word up.
Downtown in Aurora, adjacent to my gym. And it is a healthy alternative, man. So everything in the downtown, kudos to everybody who has businesses and run businesses and stuck it out and still able to push forward. That is great. And for everybody else who's opening businesses and still trying to say, okay, despite all of what looks like doomsday, we're still going to chase our dreams and we're still going to fight and we're still going to push. Keep pushing, because there's great things to come. But for me, we're opening QT3 Systems Part 2, I like to call it. It's just called Catherine's Place. Catherine's Place 2.0, it's off the chain. Healthy alternative. It's all natural, no additives, no preservatives, no sugars. Just to give you guys a little something different. It's a different culture than what we're used to around here. We have a lot of coffee shops, we have a lot of taco places, we have a lot of other things that we frequent, but nothing like what we're about to see in Catherine's Place.
You were in our news on Monday about Catherine's Place because we had shouted it out on Catherine's Place, but then I was like, what in the world is Catherine's Place? Anybody know? We was looking it up a little bit, and then I walked past and saw it because that dip that goes back there.
Right.
Behind, yeah.
Right.
So I actually did see it one day. I was like, oh, okay,
Yeah.
it's gonna be right here.
Yeah.
Interesting, because I haven't met anybody from it, so I've only met you.
Yeah. I can, so we have a gym, obviously, but in that gym, we will also have, in Catherine's Place, we'll have protein shakes.
Okay.
Different from Herbalife, because we have a couple of facilities around here that do Herbalife. This is just something different. It's not Herbalife products that we're going to be using, but all healthy at the same time. Just a different twist. And I'm not saying anything about Herbalife or any of those guys. I'm just saying We're just gonna bring in a little something different.
No, I see. I can dig it. I see the flavor.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
After meeting you now, I actually.
Yeah. So we got juices that you can come in. We'll have our own menu, but then we'll also have create your own blend. So if you don't see something on the menu, you can come in and say, okay, I want spinach and kale and beets or whatever that is you want to put in your own blend. You can create your own blend. The protein shakes will have just regular protein shakes. We'll have builders and gainers, fat burners.
I like that.
Creatine, glutamine, anything you want in a protein shake that you want. If you're trying to gain weight, we obviously have something for that. If you're just trying to recover after your workout, if you're trying to lose weight, whatever that is, we're going to have it. And also teas. We're going to have.
Shouts out.
Hot tea. I'm just excited about it, to be honest with you. Like, there's nothing down here like it. You will be able to come in and see the fresh produce on the wall in the baskets, and
Okay.
it's just going to be a natural.
Your boy will be in there. I'll come.
Yeah, healthier alternative to something other than what we have, and I'm excited to bring it.
How can people contact QT3 Systems? Where yes, Facebook.
Yeah, Facebook definitely. You can go to Facebook, QT3 Body Systems.
Okay.
Yeah, at QT3 Body Systems, or you can go to Quint Thompson on Facebook. 630-692-9103. That's the phone number that you can reach us at. Contact us. You can email us at QT3 System, SYSTEM @gmail.com. Reach out, holler at us. We'll be more than glad to assist you, accommodate you, bring you in for free sessions, let you try it out. We have crazy opportunities going on down there. And I think one of the things too I want to point out, like, we do a lot of classes, Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. One at 5 a.m., one at noon, and one at 6 p.m.
That's with the big tire out front and all
That's
that?
what the big tire is out front. Yeah. We don't highly publicize it as much as we probably should. And the reason for that, because we want to keep it, we don't want to saturate, again, not being able to accommodate the masses of people that if they come, we want to be able to get them in.
I got you.
So while we are all over Facebook and social media, we just want to put that out there. If you don't know, you have an opportunity to come and check that out. It's crazy in those classes. And don't worry about not being able to do the workouts, because everything is modified for you if you can't do it. We don't change the class or the circuits, but we do have heart rate monitors. So you'll be able to look on this screen, and we're always looking on this screen. Everybody's heart rate monitors are going at the same time in live time. So we have accountable trackability to say, okay, Curtis, you're in the red, you're at 180, heart rate beats, your
Right.
Motivation is up. Okay, if you're tired, we can sit you out.
Okay.
If you're not up there and the circuit's still going, guess what? You're going to keep going.
Gotcha.
So we take the guessing out of the training, right? We take the guessing out. And so everybody's able to do the same workouts just based upon their performance and not the person next to them. So we got a great thing going over there if you want to come check it out again. We just at 630-692-9103, or you can email us at QT3 System, SYSTEM, no S, singular, not plural, @gmail.com.
What kind of music did you listen to when you were younger?
Music. Well, we kind of grew up on.
You're like a Scarface fan.
Yeah. Definitely lifting the face, man. I was listening to Face just the other day, coming to work. But if you go take it back, our parents listen to old school. They listen
The
to old
Dusties
school.
and all that, yeah.
Dusties, yeah. We grew up on that. But I definitely, Scarface is definitely. They probably don't even know who that is now. These younger generations probably don't recognize and know who Scarface is. They might know Tupac if you throw that out there.
Right, yeah.
But those older generation rappers, they probably don't know. But definitely, man, Scarface, NWA, R&B and Rakim, like all the, and it mind you, a lot of East Coast. I was more East Coast than obviously West Coast.
Right, sure.
I just love the vibe. But yeah, definitely.
Okay, that's a guess. The show ends on a positive note.
Absolutely.
What is your message today for the people of Aurora?
Follow your dreams. I mean, don't just follow them. Again, there's a few things that I always say. Find your passion for what it is you love to do. Study what that is. Prepare, and then execute. Outside of that, we just did turning our wheels. So I just want to, tell everybody, like, anything is possible. Like, if you know my story, and most of you guys out there I've done the story in the paper. It's an article. I'm sure a lot of people have read it because they've let me know. And I have no regrets and no remorse for any decisions that I've made. It just shaped me into the character and the human being that I am today. Obviously, you would ask yourself, if you could go back and change some things in life, what would you change? There's obviously some things, but even the hardships and even the pain and that you feel growing up with whatever that is, that does not define who you are as a human being. You can always recreate yourself to be better, and just follow that. Just search it. Just we don't do enough of taking time, and this is what I'll leave with. Take time for yourself. We hustle and bustle and break our necks to go to work to give all of our energy and time to work, to our kids, to our husbands and our wives, to our family. And we won't even take 4% out of 100 for ourselves. 4% out of 100 in one day is only 1 hour out of your day.
Wow.
Take 1 hour, take 4% out of your day to do something for you. I don't care what it is. Whether you want to meditate, pray, work out, whatever that 4% out of 100, that's only 1 hour out of your day. Take that for yourself, people. And that is what I want to leave you with. And it'll help you become a much better person overall.
On behalf of Good Morning Aurora, we want to say thank you very much to Mr. Thompson for coming in to holler at us about QT3 Systems. Check it out at 2 West Downer Place.
Yes.
In downtown Aurora. You can email QT3System@gmail.com or check out QT3 Body Systems on Facebook.
There it is.
For all of you listeners and fans and watchers out there, this was a great episode. Be blessed, be motivated, and also, because I wrote it down, we are the life of this downtown in this city. So please support downtown Aurora. Check out QT3 Systems. Peace.
Peace. Appreciate you.